Gidalyfe Astrology. Thank you for being here today on June the 13th, 2021. I want to do a quick shout out to my crystal dealer. I have several. My new friend as well as a new crystal dealer. Her name is Nikki Nicole. And her line, let me shout it out right. I believe I need to look at it. That's crazy. I'm always searching for stuff after I get a million things prepared. But how we are this wonderful evening. It is Sunday night as usual. Getting ready to be 11 p.m. So I'm on my 11:11 time schedule as usually. I do want to shout out Nikki Nicole, and her company is Nazar Nirvana. Nazar Nirvana. Shout out to Nazar Nirvana and the beautiful crystals. I have other crystals too. This is selenite, and it's a massage egg. Yes, it feels really cool to the touch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it begins with an H. Not hermaphrodite. Hermodite, something like that. These two. I got two of each because they really make me, the coolness goes through my hands. I definitely am learning all these. I do know that normally a green stone means manifestation, and because we just had the new moon, I got this one as well. And this one, you would think I had all the names, but this one is at the tip of my tongue. They all serve significant purposes, not just for manifestation, but also for calming, prosperity, health, mental clarity, all those kind of things. This one, I do know, this is Smoky Quartz Vogel. This bad boy has 12 different points or curves, I want to say, to it. I did carry it in my pocket, so I'm noticing a few scratches already because I had it in the pocket with another one. But this is something to cherish. 12 different sides, I want to say, that each represent all the zodiacs they were getting ready to talk to. So again, shout out to Nikki Nicole. All right, y'all. I'm not using the green screen tonight because I want to come back to our wheel and work with this today. So hopefully you can see and follow along. I have created a new look here so I can give more to the outer planets, or the the outer planets that don't move so fast. So I'm gonna be constantly moving this one back. As you can see, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Chiron doesn't move that much either. And the nodes. I have both the south and the north here. I have the midhaven. The midhaven does move pretty fast, but I put it out there with the outers. The inner planets are all here as well as the ascendant. The houses are under the signs. The moon is going to stay on the signs, and the sun is going to stay within everything as the largest body. All right, again, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, viewing. Thank you to my new subscribers and my old subscribers. I am TMZ, teaching everyone abundantly, empowering many, Zakia, enlightening every day. This is Gidalyfe Astrology, growing into divine adults, loving yourself forever. Let's get busy. All right. I'm doing my sage, just clearing some rough energy. Shout out to all my Leos, especially Mars in Leo, because it is my Mars return. Mars just moved into Leo 2 days ago, I believe. So, and speaking of Leo, a Leo gave me this shirt. Shout out to Vincent Black Anthony, that damn daddy. He has so many names. And his company, Shout out to my godson YC. Rest in heavenly peace. And his company. It's on the back. I forgot where it was. Shout out to y'all. This is an old shirt, so I need some updated stuff. But you know I love yellow, so I put it on. I think I've worn this shirt before in another episode. Let's get busy. Speaking of Leos, the moon is in Leo. Okay. But we're still in Gemini season. It is the last. So here's the sun in Gemini. It is the last week. So we're in the final realm. What I am going to put up, that I've been trying to put up and upload, is a very long, drawn out, but very informative video that I just recently did last week, because we're moving into a new week now, about the various deacons in our signs and how all the signs connect from Aries. I flipped this around too, so Aries is down here, from Aries on around till you get to Pisces. So look out for that. But we are in the final deacon, the final realm of Gemini. Any of you having a birthday this week, and we're going to talk about the birthdays last week and this week, because I missed two. We're going to talk about the Gemini, the last deacon of Gemini. Gemini is the first air sign. Deacons, each sign is 30 degrees. Each deacon is 10 degrees each, so we are in the last deacon of Gemini. So Mercury's there. It's still coming backwards. It's retrograde. And the sun is there. So if you are in the last deacon of an air sign, the last air sign is Aquarius. So you were born a Gemini Aquarius, meaning that you have Gemini tendencies, definitely, but you're more of an elevated Gemini, like an Aquarius, as far as the air signs are concerned. Each sign has, I'm born in the last deacon of Scorpio, therefore I'm a Scorpio Pisces. But more news on that when you watch my video. All right, let's get into the birthdays of the week. Yes, the birthdays of last week. Let's do that really quick. So on 6/7 was the purple one himself, Prince's birthday. So shout out to him. Prince would have been 59, I believe. Don't get me on that. I do talk about celebrities who have passed on, and celebrities who are actually doing positive things out here in real life. So Prince was one of them. He definitely kept it real. He definitely was a Gemini that spoke his mind, as all Geminis do. So shout out to Prince. His birthday was last Monday, actually. This Monday, before we go to this Monday, big day, I'm excited. Last Tuesday, June the 8th, was I don't have my necklace on today, but shout out to Yeezy. It was his 44th. He was born in 77, like me too. It was Yeezy's birthday last Tuesday. And if I am correct, and I should already have this pulled up, y'all, but bear with me. Speaking of Mars and Leo and Geminis, born in 77, like Kanye, Mars went into Leo back in 1977 in October 26th. So 3 days into Scorpio season. Everybody that was born around that time, I was born 2.5 weeks later from that, has Mars in Leo. Okay. Then Mars went retrograde and it went back into Leo on June the 13th, 1978. So that would make Kanye and Mars in Cancer, which is what we just came out of, which would explain a lot of how he stuck around his house if he had Mars in Cancer, defending his home, defending his wife, and then got fed up with it. Keep that in mind. All right, moving on to Monday finally. Monday and Wednesday, we have some more lovely birthdays. Shout out to all the Geminis that are watching that have a birthday this week, and or this past Gemini season. Shout out to you. But Monday is dedicated to this guy. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come too. Well, I'm already here, but we're gonna come down the street. Happy birthday, POTUS! And tomorrow's big kicker is gonna be full of news. Fake news. So watch it. All right, we got a lot to talk about with Monday, but we had to start out with the birthdays. We also need to mention, I have the moon. I don't know if you all can see up there. So I'm starting to track the moon as well. We just had a new moon, so it was dark, okay? And now we're in the waxing moon until we get to the full moon. The waxing moon is kind of important because after new moon, you want to manifest. Now, this new moon in Gemini that just happened over the weekend, was it Thursday or Friday? These days are going fast. But you are normally to manifest, to write intentions and those kind of things on the new moon for the new things you want to walk into. The new moon energy lasts for 3 to 10 days, where the full moon lasts just for that day, at the most 2 days. Excuse me. So each moon cycle in each month, even though we had a solar eclipse, so most astrologers said it wasn't necessary to write intentions or manifest, but just to get some rest your mind, because Gemini season is a lot of busyness, busy minds, especially information coming in and all that thing. But June can be harmful energy month, or according to my moon spells journal. Okay. I just want to read this part out of the book. As the turning point midway through the year, the moon calls us back to what is most meaningful at deeper levels. In the chaotic, hyper-productive peak of the solstice light, meaning next Monday we're actually going into Cancer season, which is a cardinal sign, which means we're starting a new season, summertime, right? It's an ideal time to pause and turn inward. Review intentions, especially in retrograde, reorient strategies, and reset the compass route. Being that Gemini is ruled by Mercury, being that Mercury is in retrograde, it's definitely, I get the point that astrologers were saying we don't really need to write intentions, but to check over intentions. What I did was kind of emphasize, put my intentions into more details. You can do what you want, but I always encourage that you always write your intentions every new moon. All right, and that is that. This is actually a crescent moon, waxing. So waxing means we're growing into the full moon. That is why you write new intentions, because you want to grow into the new energy that you're bringing in. You want to basically plant your seeds. You want to keep a positive attitude. I'm reading my notes on the computer. You want to grow and strengthen your projects and things, the things that you're working on, basically. If you manifest something without action, it won't grow. So you're basically, in Gemini season, it is saying that this time it was best, especially with the lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipse is like even more of a burst of new energy. And you can feel the change. We've been talking about this several episodes. So you want to aggressively recharge yourself with a retrograde in Gemini season and recheck the information that's coming in. Re-evaluate the knowledge that you're giving and receiving. And I'm going to leave it at that because we're getting into a long thing. I haven't even started the week. Well, the good thing is everything that's big about this week is generally on Monday and the weekend. So we can run through this pretty quick after we get past today. All right. The moon is in the 8th house. Mars is also in the 8th house in Leo. Now, Leo is in fixed sign like Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. So as soon as the moon moved into Leo just a few hours ago earlier today, and let's just talk about the 8th house that's ruled by Scorpio, okay? The moon in the 8th house, and I'm reading again from my astrology book. Shout out to Lee, who gave me this planets and trends. This was actually my first book when I started this show. When I started as Addicted to Astrology, now it's Gidalyfe Astrology. Shout out to you, Lee. But the moon in the 8th house, you may experience some effects of possessiveness, that's Scorpio, about property or being surrounded by familiar things, memories. You may desire some things that belong to someone else. The moon is at its fall in Scorpio, and it sounds like it's kind of at its fall in the 8th house too. It sounds like it's extra dramatic. This moon, we're really going to focus on today's episode because there is no full or new moon this week. But because the moon is the fastest moving unit in the sky, other than the houses and some of the asteroids, some of the orbs, the moon also represents people and how we respond in our emotions. So it's a huge thing. So on Monday, June the 14th, on POTUS's birthday, we have a lot going on. The moon especially, but you know, I've been talking about that Saturn square Uranus, and I'm going to do another separate thing on that too, especially after we find out what happens tomorrow. But this moon, first in Leo will conjunct with Mars, like I showed you, because they both are in Leo and they both are just coming in. Mars is in 0 degrees of Leo, and the moon is in probably about, still in the first decan, under 10 degrees. The moon will oppose Saturn. That's where I'm going. So the opposite of Leo is Aquarius, and that's where Saturn is, if you can see. Okay. Saturn is out here because it is a slower moving planet. It's not necessarily one of the outer planets, but is the last inner planet, and it moves in a sign every 2 to 2.5 years, depending on the retrograde. Now, the moon opposing Saturn. The moon opposing Saturn, y'all. Anything opposing or squaring is rough. Anything touching or aspecting Saturn is rough. So, where are we? I could have sworn I had this ready. Mercury retrograde, last week of that too, thank goodness. Okay, the moon opposing Saturn, here we go. I do have it, I have it at the top. All right, so the moon opposing Saturn is, the best way is to handle feelings is to do nothing. All right, again, moon has to do with your emotions. Saturn has to do with reality and restriction and authority and government, right? So you may feel quite cold and emotionless with this transit. The moon in Leo normally is a dramatic, fun-loving, childlike energy, but everyone gets into such moods from time to time. Okay, with a square, I mean, with an opposition, oppositions can be good or bad, but normally the moon opposing such a heavy planet like Saturn can give strong energy as well. But the other strong energy, conflicting energy, is the moon squaring Uranus, which is the other tough planet, the first outer planet. So with this transit, you should be very careful not to be hasty. This, and I wrote my notes on my page here, this is like your plans are being foiled. This is like you were all wrong with all these energies. The moon opposing Saturn, the moon squaring Uranus. Remember, those are tough energies. Then Saturn is squaring Uranus. So the things that the moon is. So here we go. Fixed signs, stay with me. If you are a moon in Leo, if you are Saturn in Aquarius, which would be a few generations ago because it takes Saturn 30 years. So actually, everybody who's having their Saturn return probably has Saturn in Aquarius. Okay. I know that's Naomi, who just had a 30th birthday. My goddaughter and my sister-in-law, all from my previous marriage, are turning 30 this year. So more than likely, they're in Saturn and Aquarius, or maybe Capricorn, one of those. Then Uranus is in Taurus, which is the other fixed sign, and the opposition of Taurus is Scorpio. So the only thing that's in Scorpio, the 10th house, is the midhaven, because the midhaven falls the 10th house. This has to do with your career, your celebrity. Okay, so if Mars is opposing Saturn, it's squaring Uranus and whatever is in Scorpio, which is the midhaven right now. I don't think I'm going to go too far into squaring the midhaven, but all these energies are definitely bringing, you might have been wrong all along. You might have got excited for nothing. The Leo, like I said, the Leo moon is excitement, but your emotions can easily be stopped with with aspects like squares and oppositions. This is like what does work now, what we want you to think, because the moon in Leo is positive energy. Okay, it is uplifting energy, it's motivating energy, because Leo is ruled by the sun of all things. So of course it's positive, uplifting energy. So instead of getting depressed with all these squares, and I have the opposition here, but with getting depressed with squares and oppositions, right? Think more about what works and what doesn't work. Okay, like Saturn being the old energy, the older reality, and Uranus being the new energy and the new reality. Okay, that is where you can say, okay, when I was paying attention to the Saturn energy, it really didn't benefit me to keep doing this. So in the new Uranus energy, I'm going to do this. And it's the same thing with Saturn square Uranus. Now, because Saturn squaring Uranus, and another thing really quick to remind you what squares are and how they all affect the modes. Modes being fixed signs, which is Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. And all the cardinal signs, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries. And all the mutable signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo. They all square each other based on their modes. Square means, as you would see in a square, there's a 90-degree angle on one side, okay? So each sign is 30 degrees. So the moon being in Leo is 30, 60, 90 degrees away from Taurus. The moon being in Leo is 30. I'm counting the signs. Virgo is 30, Libra is 60, 90 is Scorpio. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Hopefully. All right. So let's get to Saturn squaring Uranus. So Saturn is here in Taurus. I'm sorry, Saturn is here in Aquarius and Uranus is in Taurus. So again, Aquarius is 90 degrees away from Taurus. 3 signs away from Taurus. Pisces, Aries, Taurus. Got it? 3 times 3 is 90. That is a square. That is how you make a square. All right. And the opposition is exactly 6 signs away. Okay. This is information, like I said, that we don't want to overthink. There's also another square, let me say this before, that is with the mutable signs. So the fixed squares aren't having all the fun. The sun being in Gemini, 3 signs away, going backwards, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, is squaring Neptune, which is way down here in Pisces, okay? Now, Neptune, an outer planet. These outer planet energies, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, which is not in today's episode, but these outer planets move slowly, so their effects will come in slowly, but they come in, okay? With the sun squaring Neptune all day tomorrow, no overthinking, because Neptune deals with your subconscious, deals with your creativity as well, deals with your spirituality, deals with deception, illusion. We talk about Neptune all the time. So the information and messages and knowledges with the sun being in Gemini, that's a lot of information. With Neptune being in home in Pisces, that is the mental information coming in could be flowing in nicely with Pisces, but as soon as it gets to the sun in Gemini and it illuminates everything, it's like you're flowing down a river and then all of a sudden you come into the ocean. Okay? It's like a little bit of information, then a lot of information. That is why tomorrow is going to be big in some kind of way. I can only come back and say that's what that was and that's what that was. So we'll see. Midweek, I'll come in and check in about that. All right, let's move on. Tuesday, the moon's sextile in Mercury. This is a better understanding of what to do. Sextiles, quick, compatible energy. Sextiles are based on the elements. I'm sorry, not the elements. Based on the compatible signs. So the moon, still being in Leo, will be sextiling Mercury in Gemini, because air and fire work well together. Okay, this is a better understanding of what to do with the information that you just got on Monday. Also, the moon will move into Virgo on Tuesday, 6:15, later that night, which will bring organization, detail, and the tools needed to understand all that information that came in on Monday. Then the moon will oppose, and I'm just going to move it for purposes of talking. The moon will oppose Jupiter when it moves into Virgo, because Virgo is the opposite sign of Pisces, and Jupiter's in Pisces. Which, even though it's an opposition, it's like Jupiter with the expansion of all things Pisces, good things, your spirituality, clarity, your conscious. With the moon being in Virgo, it'll kind of organize the chaos that might come from an expanded amount of information, an abundant amount of information that came in for Monday. So Tuesday is like going to give us that what just hit us, and let's process this kind of day. Wednesday is not much. The moon still is in Virgo, still working out those kinks, still working out the energy of all those things that happen between the mutable and the fixed signs on Monday. So that is why I said we're going to kind of breeze through the rest after we pass Monday. The moon in Virgo also is about a health check. Okay, so mental health, especially with all the information coming in, make sure you don't fall into depression. Make sure you don't, what am I trying to say? Don't make yourself feel bad for not being able to handle anything. Okay, meditate, organize, clean, organize your information in your phone, take some of it out. Don't overwhelm yourself. The moon in Virgo is here to help you get that chill and that grounding, as earth signs do. Thursday, the moon squares Mercury, because again, Mercury's in Gemini. 1, 2, 3 signs back. The moon will square Mercury, which is like an agree to disagree. Okay, Virgo's like, I'm perfect. I know what I'm talking about emotionally. I got it all together up here, and I don't need you, Mercury in retrograde, messing any of that up, especially in your last week. Okay, and then Mercury is still aggressive and kind of angry, but the moon means business. The moon is not going to get overly emotional. You are not going to get overly emotional. I'm not going to get overly emotional, and solutions will still come in with this moon in Virgo. The moon will oppose Neptune, which is also in Pisces. And again, those are the mutable signs doing their squaring and opposition. This will say, be like, did you miss something? Did Mercury put some more deceitful information in your head. I'm sorry, not Mercury, Neptune. The Neptune put some deceitful information in your head. And now you are blaming yourself possibly. You're not focused. You're overlooking and overthinking. And Neptune is here doing that because it's in opposition. It's trying to weaken the moon's strength of keeping it all together emotionally. So please don't let that happen. Friday, the moon moves into Libra, my son's moon. My son's moon is in Libra. My son is all about harmony, justice, fairness, emotionally. And he's all air. Okay, this air energy. But Libra is a cardinal sign, so he's the leader of the peace, possibly. The harmony, possibly. The moon in Libra, the moon again being about people and how we react to things. We need this moon as well. We need this moon because we're going to need to relate to each other after this week, after this Monday. Okay. Moon is going to sextile Mars in Leo, which is confidence from Leo, a little bit of cockiness, a little bit aggressive, but the moon still will kind of keep you in check. Okay. You can be confident when you are relating to people, but please keep your, you're cool. You are a cool person. Show people you are cool and not so cocky. Also, the moon will trine Saturn. So the moon is in Libra. The trine happens with all the elements. So moon in Libra, Saturn in Aquarius, those are the air signs. This is quick energy, even though not both of them, but Saturn is in retrograde as well. So this is like, okay, I'm going to check in with the old world and make sure they're okay, make sure that they are, or we are prepared to move on. You don't have to necessarily shut the old world out. You don't have to shut out the old things that you believe in, the old realities, the old structures. But it's happening. So why not get to understand it more? Okay? I'm gonna go more into that when we talk more about what happens tomorrow. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but something's going to happen. All right, Saturday. Where am I? Saturday is the last full day of Gemini. The moon will trine Mercury. So again, that's another air sign, Libra and Gemini. This is going to be, because Mercury's in retrograde still, this is going to be something may be a little off here. Okay, you may not be able to reach somebody. You may not get what you want from somebody or what you need. Even though they both are air signs. Remember, sometimes even trines or sextiles are not always on point. It's just like Mercury in retrograde in Gemini, the chatty gossiper, not really paying attention to what they're gossiping about or who they're gossiping to. And the moon is trying to say, okay, listen, whoever you're talking to is not buying what you're selling, or you're not getting your point across. So when the moon is trining this, also squaring Venus, which, and I have this is important for me to read too. 1 second. The moon is squaring Venus. Venus rules the moon in this position because the moon is in Libra and Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So the moon squaring Venus, here we go. This is very unpleasant, yet it's light feeling because air is light energy, okay? Venus is in Cancer, right? And those are the cardinal modes. So this is water and air energy. So water is heavy, air is light. You may feel very affectionate towards loved ones and a strong desire to support them. But do not get so possessive. Cancer feels good being in, Venus feels good being in Cancer, but it can be extra possessive. And how can you really relate to somebody if you are not feeling sentimental with them? They're not really attaching to you well. You should be aware of a tendencies to overindulge in your desires with Venus and the emotions that go with all that. So, like, if you're an overeater, when you get emotional and you can't relate to somebody, you may go shop to feel better. You may go have sex to feel better, buy a bunch of makeup to beautify yourself. Who knows? Just watch it, okay? Now, Sunday, the moon will enter Scorpio in its fall, okay? So Scorpio is way too emotional for this emotional moon, okay? Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto, two tough planets. So when it's in the moon and it's overly emotional, it's a mess. But the big challenge is knowledge and depth here in the last half day of Gemini. Okay, also on Sunday, Jupiter begins its retrograde. So it'll be going back from Pisces into Aquarius in the next 3 weeks that fast, okay? Because it's only at 2 degrees in in Pisces. Jupiter retrograde is everything that we just got out of life in the last 2 months. I know that I just got my PPP loan. All beautiful businesses are, starting to show me promise. And I have to keep it up. So whatever you started, you have to keep it up so that when Jupiter goes back into Pisces in January 2022, you already know what to do. You have everything set. The seeds are planted and now they're growing and growing and growing and growing. Because you already knew what you could accomplish in these past 2 months that Jupiter's been in Pisces. But we'll talk more about that very soon. All right, y'all. I think I stretched this out. And I'm going to end it here. I am TMZ, teaching everyone abundantly, empowering many. Zakia, enlightening every day. I appreciate you tuning in to Gidalyfe Astrology, because we are all growing into divine adults and loving yourself, ourselves, forever. Peace. Have a wonderful week. I will see y'all. Whatever happens, stay elevated, stay hydrated, and stay real. Peace.